して Hello everybody and welcome to the Alex the Analyst Data Analyst Bootcamp. This is the first video in the entire playlist, so if you are watching this and you have no idea what's going on, congratulations, you just unwittingly signed up for a Data Analyst Bootcamp. No, I'm just joking, but I'm also being very serious. So before we progress into a lot of the details of this Data Analytics Bootcamp, which is completely free on my channel, I am going to tell you about how this came to be. About 3 weeks ago, I put out this post and I'll put it somewhere on the screen, and basically it was a bit of satire. I was mostly kind of poking fun at boot camps, just because they put stuff together and they call it a boot camp and they charge you a ton of money. So I was like, I should start one for free. The response was just enormous. I had like 12,000 people who liked it and commented on it and shared it on all different places. And people were like, no, Alex, you really need to do this. So
good morning and welcome to Build.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Excel tutorial. Today we will be looking at charts. Now, if you have data in Excel and you want to visually show that with bars or graphs or anything like that, you can do that really simply, and I'm going to show you how to do it like a pro. It's knowing the things that you want to show. But before we actually jump into the tutorial, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this Excel series, and that is Udemy. You may not know this, but I probably get at least 15 to 50 companies every single one because I either don't know their product or I don't believe in their product. And so I'm not gonna, go and promote that on my channel. But Udemy is one that I have consistently promoted over the past year, and that's because I truly believe in their product. I've been taking courses off their platform for years, and I've honestly learned so much, and I can do Udemy for sponsoring this Excel series. So without further ado, let's jump onto my screen and get started with the tutorial. All right, so let's jump right into it. Right here, we have the Dunder Mifflin sales report. And over here, we have all the products that they were selling along with the months that they were sold in. And so in January, they sold 450 reams of paper. Down here, we have the total items per month. And so in January, they sold 898 units of products or things that they sold. And at the very end, we have the year-end total. So this is the total amount of paper that they sold throughout the year. Now we're going to use this data right here for all of our charts. Now, You may not have data exactly like this. It can come in lots of different flavors, but you're going to get the basic gist of how to use charts, how to edit it, how to customize it to fit what you need. And then we're going to kind of put it right over here and kind of create its own sheet where we can kind of visualize all the things that we want to show. So let's jump right back over here into sales. And first thing we need to do is kind of highlight the data that we're going to be working with. Now I'm going to start with everything, but I'll show you along the way. We don't actually want everything, but we can the chart section. There's lots of different types of charts. But the first thing that we're going to be looking at is right here. This is a 2D column or kind of like a bar chart. And we're just going to click right here and we're going to pull this down. So now that we have this down here, there are a few things that I want to show you before we actually really get into it. And I kind of want to show you the options that you have. So if you go up here, we have different chart styles. And so if I hover over them, you can see that each one kind of looks a little bit different. And it really doesn't matter. It doesn't really change the data in any way, just how you visualize it. And so if that is important, if that is something that's nice to have over here, is this switch row and column. So right down here, you can see this purple and you can see this red. Those are our rows, and actual product is right here. Let's click it again and it'll go back. And so now we have this kind of time series. Now we have January through the end of your total.
Instead of wasting time.
But both of these are super helpful because you sometimes just want to select all the data and then kind of get in there and mess with it. Something that we want to get rid of is this total items per month. So we want to remove that. And then we also want to remove this year-end total because both of those are kind of the end result. They're not the actual data per month or per product. So we're going to get rid of those and we're going to apply that. And as you can see, just right off the bat, our data has changed dramatically. And that's because we aren't including these large numbers that were kind of throwing off the visualization for us. So this one right here, as is already pretty good. What we can do right here is we can change this and we're just going to say products sold per month. Now, what we can do if we want to move it to another sheet is we can actually move the chart and we can select where we want to move it. We can move it to a chart sheet and we can do that. Or something that I do almost 99% of the time is I just copy and I come over here and I'm going to paste it. And so now we have this, this chart right over here as well as back here. And so I typically tend to do that because now we can still go over here and change this one as much as we want. So if we want to go in here, we can alter this one and it won't affect the other one. So we just have basically two copies. So we're going to keep this one right here. This is going to be our first visualization. And as I said, it's fairly straightforward. If you've ever done any types of charts or graphs before, right here it's January, February, March, April, May. And if you hover over these, you can see that that's the paper. And if we just glance, the paper is their biggest product by far. And so that blue, which is their paper, is going to be the biggest every single month. So that makes perfect sense. Now, what if we want to change up the kind? So what if we want to change up the kind of type? Now, this is going to offer you just about everything you could possibly imagine or want, and even things that you absolutely would never ever want ever. And so I'm going to show you some of the good ones, and I'm going to show you some just absolutely insane ones that Excel came up with, which I could not imagine a scenario that these are ever used. But within these columns, you can do, they're called cluster columns, these stacked columns, so it would look just like this. Those are often used as well. And then we have ones that it's tough to look at, but let's put it right here. This is basically the same thing that we just had, except visualized in a different, we'll call it more unique way. One is shown well and one is not shown well. I'm not a fan of these 3D type of visualizations. Something else that you probably use a lot are things like these line graphs. Okay, so these are line graphs, and they're different types. So there are these stacked, 100% stacked lines with markers, different flavors for this type of line graph. And so you can go in here and take a look. Again, not my favorite, but they have it as an option if you choose to do this. But I'm kind of a simple guy. But I'm gonna go in here, and it's pretty clustered. I want to kind of take the ones that have the highest sales or the highest total amount sold. So that would be paper, manila folders, and 3-ring binders. So let's go in here. We want to keep paper. We want to keep manila folders, and we want to keep 3-ring binders. And let's apply that. And so now it's a lot cleaner. And we're just going to copy this, and we're going to put it over here. And I'm just putting these all over here for you because we'll look at this at the end and just kind of see different options and ways to do things as we have gone through this tutorial. So let's go back here. Now, something else that we haven't looked at is the actual colors and color schemes that you can do. So let's go right here to these chart styles, and we can go to color. Now, color is something that probably is quite overlooked in actual charts and graphs. Some terrible colors like this or this, where they're really close together, especially when you have a lot of them. For example, let's just pretend we put all of them back really quickly. It is near impossible to distinguish these colors. We wouldn't want that. Let's go back to this color. You know, when you have it like in some of these colors, at least, it at least distinguishes them. So you can kind of see what you're working with. But when you have it in these monochromatic options, sometimes they're just impossible to distinguish. So be sure to choose the right colors that you're using so that if somebody who's never seen this data before looks at it, they can easily distinguish the product and the month that you are looking at. But let's go just back up here. We'll choose this default option. Well, let's choose this one right here. This one's nice, although there's lots of yellows and oranges. Let's see this one.
Hello, boss. For office building design, Build Most is your best choice.
Look at, and there are these chart elements right here. Other things that we can add are things like data labels. And right here, it's super messy. But if we went back and we got rid of some of these things like the printer, staples, highlighters, pens, and total, we apply that. It's a little bit easier to distinguish. And that's something that you may be interested in doing. You can also add this data table at the bottom, which is the actual columns and rows that you have for this visualization right here. Now, let's expand this quite a bit. I'm gonna make this extremely large. If you have something like this, it actually can be pretty nice. Maybe we get rid of these data labels, but it can be easy because you're putting it all in one place. You can also make this 2 separate visualizations. You can have one visualization just like this, and right underneath it, you can have the actual rows and columns, but this option allows you to put it all in one. So let's put this back down because that is way too big. And let's expand it a little bit. Now, if you notice right here, we have our legend up top. It is possible to actually change that. You can go right here and you can move this kind of wherever you want, but it's not exactly easy to put based off how we have it right here. If we go into this chart elements, we go down to legend and we hit this little arrow right here. We can select it on the right, the top, left, and the bottom, or we can just go to more options, which allows us to push it anywhere. But let's say I want to do it just like this. I'm going to put it on the right, and I actually want to bring it down right here. And that's just an option if you want to kind of customize it a little further, makes it a little cleaner. You can do that with almost any of these things. So if you click on this, you can move this anywhere as well. So if you want to move this over here on top of it, you can and make it look terrible, or you can move it right back over here. This is something that you can move around. You just kind of want to make sure you're doing it the right way. So let's get this back where it was. There we go. Now, before we go any further, let's copy that. and put it right over here with our other charts and graphs. And if you see over here on this side, we have this format chart area. Notice I haven't showed you this at all yet. That is because I genuinely just don't use this almost at all. There are some good stuff in here, and I'm sure that, you know, if you are someone who really wants to go in there and super customize it, you can do that. But I just never get in here and I never, you know, change the glow or the shadows. Just not something I use, and some of these are only for these 3D formatting, which I never use. And so I'm not going to show you and walk through these things. Again, I really don't use it. And so if you want to go in there and mess with it, you know, by all means, go for it. It's just not something that I want to take the time to show you. And with that being said, let's go back over to this chart sheet that we have. And it was super, super easy to get these charts and graphs and whatnot. There are lots of different options. Again, if we go back here and we go up here to chart design and go to the change chart type. And again, there are a ton of different options, like a pie chart, like this. It's, you know, you can try to figure this out and use these. But, you know, I wanted to show you the ones that you'll probably use the most, which are these columns and line charts. And they all kind of are similar in their own way. This bar chart is basically, you know, this column chart just on its side. And so you can do that with almost any of these things. So if you click on this, you can move this anywhere as well. So if you want to move this over here on top of it, you can and make it look terrible, or you can move it right back over here. You know, this is something that you can move around. You just kind of want to make sure you're doing it the right way. So let's get this back where it was. There we go. Now, before we go any further, let's copy that and put it right over here with our other charts and graphs. And if you see over here on this side, we have this format chart area. Notice I haven't showed you this at all yet. That is because I genuinely just don't use this almost at all. There are some good stuff in here, and I'm sure that, you know, if you are someone who really wants to go in there and super customize it, you can do that. But I just never get in here and I never, you know, change the glow or the shadows. Just not something I use, and some of these are only for these 3D formatting, which I never use. And so I'm not going to show you and walk through these things. Again, I really don't use it. And so if you want to go in there and mess with it, you know, by all means, go for it. It's just not something that I want to take the time to show you. And with that being said, let's go back over to this chart sheet that we have. And it was super, super easy to get these charts and graphs and whatnot. There are lots of different options. Again, if we go back here and we go up here to chart design and go to the change chart type. And again, there are a ton of different options, like a pie chart, like this. It's, you know, you can try to figure this out and use these. But, you know, I wanted to show you the ones that you'll probably use the most, which are these columns and line charts. And they all kind of are similar in their own way. This bar chart is basically, you know, this column chart just on its side. And so they all have their different flavor. They all have their different way of visualizing the data, but in essence, they're using the data in a similar way. Things that usually require specific data to kind of use. And so I'm just using data that you'll probably see the most of, like this sales data. So I hope that this has given you a pretty good, you know, quick understanding of how to use these, how to customize them, how to copy and paste them over to a different sheet to create some type of little chart and visualization sheet that you can use to show your employers and visualize the data that you are working with. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, huge shout out to Udemy for sponsoring this Excel series. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe below, and I'll see you in the next.
Hello, welcome back. We have finished Excel now, and tomorrow we're going to start SQL, structured query language. I hope you enjoyed this week. It was a very long week. We covered all the things to do with Excel. We did projects. If you haven't checked out those videos, go and check out. And I appreciate you guys for attending the class. It was I appreciate that because I enjoyed interacting with you, and we had some memory, to be honest. And tomorrow we are going to start a sequel, as I said. Same time, nothing has changed. 10 a.m. East African time zone. We're going to start SQL structured query language. After that, we are going to do Power BI, then Python. So once we finish that, I'm going to teach you how to build a portfolio, then after how to apply jobs. So that will be the end of this channel after we finish those things. So I'm asking for you guys to attend the classes and make sure you subscribe to the channel. We reach maybe 380 subscribers by next week. So today it was a short stream. I was just doing a recap of what we learned. So that's why I put Alex Analyst for you guys to watch. It was a recap of what we learned. And to be honest, Excel is so easy. So we finished it with a week. It was a 3 hours long video. I think the one we did yesterday, it was about 4 hours. I'm not sure about that. But if we add the total hours, is around 12 hours. We spent 12 hours last week. So and next week things will be different. I'll be streaming more than maybe 2 to 3 hours because SQL needs a lot of energy, especially for beginners. I have to teach you every aspect from select, all those stuffs. So make sure you attend. Then on Friday there will be a professor will come and teach you guys. So it won't be me, I think, on Fridays. So there's someone else who will come and teach you. There's someone who has been using SQL for more than 20 years will come and teach you. So he will take one lesson, and so he will teach you guys, and that is more important, to be honest. So there's small things that I might not say because I might forget maybe, but that guy don't miss his lesson. He's very professional and he wants to help you guys. So he was my teacher too, so make sure you attend that class. And if you have any question, you can ask me right now. Is there any question? Today I wasn't even prepared to stream. So if you have a question, you can ask me right now. In about 5 minutes, 6 minutes, I'll end the stream. So if you have a question, you can ask me. How long it takes to become a data analyst? How long it takes to become a data analyst? Okay, that's a good question. It may take around even 1 month. You can become a data analyst. So you can become a data analyst with even 1 month. So you don't even have to spend maybe even 2 years, but the longer you take, the better you are. So you have to be in the game for a long time. So but if you want to become a data analyst, you can even become a data analyst within a month. 30 days is enough for you to become a data analyst, but the longer you stay in the game, the better you are. So once you start doing jobs, so you get more experience, you expose yourself to more data sets and those stuffs, so you become good at it. Get me? And so our program, it takes 5 months, as I said. Even though we can finish earlier before that, we can finish even within 3 months. I'm not sure about that, but as I said, Python is not even important when it comes to data analyst. But if you want to go ahead and learn machine learning, go and learn Python. Python is so important. If you're learning Python, then and you can go and do machine learning and data science there. But if you want to become a data analyst, Python is not must, it's not compulsory. You can just do SQL, Excel, Power BI, those are enough, or Tableau. If you don't like Power BI, you can do Tableau, but for me, I use Power BI, so we are going to do Power BI after we finish SQL. Then we will do some projects. After we do those projects, then I'll teach you how to create a portfolio. Then after, how to apply jobs. Then so that will be the end of the stream, right? That will be the end of the channel. Then doesn't mean that I won't be doing videos. The thing is that I won't be streaming after that 5 months program. I'll be only doing, I think, short videos, about maybe 10 minutes long, something like that. But this is free given to you guys about SQL. As I said, there's a professor that will come who has a experience of about 20 years, I don't know, more than 20, I think so. Even he will come and teach you SQL. He even has his own book. You might have read his book, but you didn't know his name. You get me? So, and he will come and teach you, and that's an important lesson. He will. After that lesson, I'm 100% sure you will know SQL. You'll know how to type SQL queries. You won't even struggle with the guy, because he was my teacher too. He was very important, and I remember very well when I was a student, I was a little bit struggling, because SQL was overwhelming for me as a beginner. I was scared of that. Then I ended up becoming very good at it. So the longer you stay at the game, the better you are. So is there any question, guys? If you have a question, you can ask me. And about the donation that someone asked, I saw about the donation of the kids. So we have a link that takes you to PayPal, where you donate. So these donations directly will go to kids. So we're gonna buy kids books for them, pens, and even pay teachers, because some of the teachers are not even paid for even months. Can you imagine that? That is the states of Africa, man. So sad. Teachers come to job, but they're not paid. They just volunteer. Yeah, me very sad. So we can change that. We don't even have to rely on government or what, because all of us are human beings, so we need to help each other. So if you want to donate any amount, even if it's $1 or $2, you are planting a seed. You are creating a hope and a better future for African child. So, and do by helping as much as you can, because these kids also need our help, man. Some of these kids, the state they are, is very sad, to be honest. Some of them don't even have uniform. Some of them don't have books, and some of them even come very far. They don't have fare to go to school. So it's very sad, to be honest. So if you can donate any amount, just go to the link and help them out. And it is on my profile, I think so. And that will be the end of the stream. Thank you guys for attending class today. I hope you enjoyed what we learned today, and see you on Monday tomorrow, 10 a.m. East African time zone. We are going to start a new topic, structured query language. If you need the notes for Excel, make sure you DM me, and I'm gonna get you, or you just comment down after this live stream. Just say, hey, I want the notes, then I'm gonna send you the notes. Okay, goodbye, guys. Thank you so much for attending the class, and see you tomorrow. Bye. See you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Make sure you attend that class. We are going to start. And for the donation link, as I said, it is on my profile. Go and help out the African child who is suffering about uniform, doesn't have uniform, books and clothes, all those